couple more people.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Hey, hello everybody. Welcome to Top Tier Talk for July 5th. I know it's technically a holiday, right? The 3-day weekend day off for a lot of people. That's why we wanted to have this today. Usually we cancel on holidays, but I just kind of wanted to see if we'd have better attendance when people didn't have to go to work or, that type of thing. And we'll, I guess the jury's still out on that one. But anyway, we're going to talk about a few good things, and we got, we're recording it as we always do, and we'll have it up on the training site. But yeah, just a few things. And I think at least points 2 and 3 are pretty important. The first point was just something I learned about, so I just wanted to kind of share it. I made a sale on Friday, and the guy, Mike, how do you want to pay? That's what I ask people typically. And I throw out some options of, debit or credit card, Zelle, PayPal. And he goes, Cash App. And I think he's a younger guy, right? He goes, Cash App. And I'm like, okay, I don't really know that. Is it like Apple Pay, which I also have, or Google Pay? He wasn't real sure, but he said this is what he uses, and he paid somebody last week with it or something. So I'm like, all right, let me install it, and we'll do Cash App. So it literally took me, I went to the App Store. I have an iPhone, went to the App Store, installed this app, and linked my debit card. I didn't link my bank account. They were asking too much information. So I just linked my debit card and, sent them a request. It goes by username as opposed to phone number, which I'm a little more used to, but went by username. And it was like instantaneous. And, there's no questions. Where PayPal, you always have questions. But, if you use one of these apps like Cash App or Google Pay or Apple Pay or even Zelle, pretty much, there's not going to be any questions of is it a home business and that type of thing, which, they can kind of take you down a rabbit hole you don't really want to go down. So I just wanted to make you aware of it. Another way to accept payments, you're limited to it's $2,500 a week. So, this was a $2,000 sale, so I didn't have any problems. If you're going to do $3,500, maybe it's not the best option, right? Or split your payments. But wanted to make everybody aware of that anyway.
So it's not like if your bank accepts that, if you hook it up to a debit card, then any bank will work as long as you have a debit card, right?
Yeah, and I transferred it out of there immediately, and it went to my bank immediately.
Wow.
Is there a merchant fee, Steve?
There was a fee, and that surprised me. And I complained to the guy, and he sent me a little more money to cover it. But it was, let's see, on $2,000, it was $55.
Oh, okay.
So not terrible, but little more than I was expecting. Zelle is no fee,
right?
But not every bank has that.
Plus, Zelle has a limit.
And there's also a smaller limit too.
Yeah, it's way smaller limit.
With Zelle.
Wait, with Zelle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've accepted $6,500 on Zelle.
No.
With a one-time transaction?
No.
No, it might have been over 2. That might have been over 2 days.
Okay.
Yeah, it might have been 3,500 limit, or no, it was a fourth. I forget, maybe a $4,000 limit, but it was a daily limit. Like this one here is a weekly limit, so it's $2,500 a week. So if you wanted to split the payment, you get $2,500, and then you wait for the $1,000 the next week for a $3,500 sale, for example. But it was pretty easy. Really easy. All right, moving on to point number 2, think and act like a top earner. We kind of alluded to this last week. That's why we decided to make this a topic for this week. But, talking to you guys who are here live particularly, or even those who are watching on the replay, it's probably preaching to the choir. And this is more for people that are never going to see this. But if you're a sponsor, if you're somebody who brings people into the business, these are things to, really stress to your new people, and whether they do it or not, not much we can do about that, but at least make them aware that, particularly, I think one that's really important, and that's why I put it as the first point there, is just show up, right? Like, even if you don't want to, right? It's like, going to a job, you show up, you may not want to be there, but you show up. Well, same thing here, like these meetings, because you're always going to get something out of them, right? And I'm not going to say that every time we have one of these meetings that, it's earth-shattering information or anything like that, but you're always going to pick something up, I think. And then showing up for the now monthly webinar, we used to do them weekly, the monthly webinar, it's showing that you're connected to your business, and it helps to keep you motivated. It helps to keep you on track. It helps to keep you focused on why you got started with this business in the first place.
Yeah, if I could jump in.
Yeah, absolutely.
It also, I can tell as a sponsor, I can almost 100% evaluate the potential success of a new rep, giving their proactivity. What do I mean by proactivity? By proactivity, they have skin in the game. They just invested $1,000, $2,000, 6,500, whatever. And you would think that they'd want to at least make that investment back and want to know everything they can about the business, meaning starting to go to their training site and surf around, call me up, ask me questions, show up to webinars, show up to the meetings. If we're going to do Craigslist ads, go watch the Craigslist videos and call me up and kind of like grab the bull by the horns. I know when I was sponsored by Steve, I probably bothered him maybe too much, but there is really no such thing. I would rather have a new rep that I signed up call me, hey, John, how do I do this? I'm having trouble with the ad. Where's that Craigslist training? Hey, where's that thing on how to sign up a new guy? Is there any other forms of lead generation other than Craigslist guys that you guys use? Yeah, there's this, I can then tell that that guy has a really good shot for success because he's being proactive. He's taking responsibility. He's grabbing the bull by the horns. He's learning everything he can, and he's active. So a scale of 1 to 10, when somebody comes in and they're hardly showing up, or they call me up 3 weeks later, what was that link again? I don't know how to log. After I told them all these stuff, I can sort of tell that this is going to be a tough rep because I can't drag anybody across the finish line. It's your business, and we're here to help you. And everybody gets the same help, the same training, and the same access to everything. But those who are proactive will actually start using it and have a really good chance to succeed.
Yeah, really, really good points. And it's all true. And it's not, it's not hard. It's not a difficult thing to do. I think I mentioned it last week and I've mentioned it before, but, before Michael and I put together, our marketing group, we were part of a different marketing group, someone else, one that a couple of other people were running. And, they used to have, team meetings just like this. Everything was done over the phone though. They do team meetings. They would do a live call, which is similar to our webinar. They would do them twice a week. It was a scripted call, so it was the same exact thing every single time. And I don't know what I got out of it, but I showed up to every single one of them. Maybe there was a couple that I probably missed, but for the most part, I went to every single call, even though, I could pretty much recite it word for word, and definitely showed up to every meeting, because I wanted to make money, right? And that was part of it, being part of the team and just just participating.
That segues
Um,
nicely to the next point too, never stop learning.
Yeah, and I think you alluded to this, John, when you were just talking that, yeah, I mean, I can't tell you, there's been members that I've sponsored into the business that, a year later know nothing more about the business than they knew the day they started. In fact, there was one guy, I'm not going to say names or anything, but it was multiple years that he had been here that he never progressed past day one. And, I don't know. I just think it's natural to just grow in your position. You're going to do that on a job, right? You're going to learn how to do your job better, and you're going to grow and, maybe get promoted and so on and so forth. And, this is the same thing, except it's your own little, for most people, it's a side business. But you still need to grow into it, right? You get started day one, you pay your money, you get started, you're kind of excited. Most people are excited the first day. But you don't really know how to do this business because you've never done it before. So, it's important to learn the initial stuff, but then, constantly learn and tweak, get better at talking to prospects, get better at, writing your emails and figuring out what works and what doesn't for you, because it's different for everybody, right? And yeah, pretty self-explanatory, I guess. Anything to add?
Well, I think it's this type of business is the freedom of it is such as that you can actually be causative and promote yourself and make more and more money given your proactivity and learning. But at the same time, you can end up firing yourself without even knowing it, because that's what happens when people don't do anything. Then they don't make any money. They're not learning. So now, since they're not doing anything, their morale, which goes into the next point, their morale gets lower and lower, and then they correctly assume that this business is not for them because their morale is down. They're not motivated. They're not motivated because they're not really doing anything and learning and showing up. So they end up almost subliminally firing themselves. So and then some people will come back and say it doesn't work, or you didn't do this, and they don't even realize that they just demoted themselves and fired themselves because they didn't do anything. It's crazy.
And I think it's easy. I think most people, and I was one of these people before I got involved in the online, industry, have an employee mindset, right? You do things, and you're great at doing things when you're told what to do. But here, nobody's going to tell you to go place ads, or nobody's going to tell you to, go practice your script, or what. Nobody's going to tell you to do that stuff. We can tell you that it's a good idea, but you don't have the pressure of a boss or something telling you to do something, and if you don't do it, there's going to be repercussions. There's not going to be any repercussions other than the fact that you're not going to make any sales. And kind of funny, one of the things that we kind of forgot to put on this list, I think, is advertising consistently. We've talked about that, so I'm not going to talk a lot about it, but that's part of acting like a top earner too, is not just thinking that money's magically going to fall from the sky, but to place the ads and take the actions that are necessary in order to make the money. And I think doing these things, staying connected, participating, placing the ads, having business activity, whether or not it's sales initially or not, but having business activity going on helps to keep you excited and motivated. And if you're excited and motivated, just like if you lose weight when you're on a diet, or you start to see results when you go to the gym, you're going to keep doing it. And that's really the key to having success with this business is, just keep doing it. Don't quit. Don't quit on yourself. Keep doing it, and keep improving, and good things will happen. All right, moving on to number 3, review of our 3-step system. I think John added this, so I'm going to let you kind of take it away, John. I'll move over here.
Yeah, it's good to know that there is a sequential system here, and because of that system, anybody can succeed at this. That's why we say there's no experience necessary. You don't have to go to your friends and family. There's no cold calling. And our system really is, we show you with our marketing resources, of which many of them are mentioned on the lifestyleconsultantgroup.com website. And we show you how to generate your own leads. This is not one of those sales gigs where you come aboard and every day somebody comes up and hands you a bunch of leads and then they're all ready for you to go. You have to generate your own leads. And there's a bunch of ways to do that. And that's step one. So once you get a lead, that's all that lead is. It's a name, it's a number, and they're somewhat interested because of advertisements, or you purchased the lead, or you did pay-per-click, or a magazine article, or whatever. What happens after that? Well, you're either going to interview them and go to step two, or you're going to send them directly to your sales funnel, your capture page. And that's all automated from then in, because then they get to review all the material, and I'll usually give them direction and tell them, okay, put your info in, go here, watch the testimonials if you would like, and then watch our webinar on demand and do this. I give them a little tip on what to do. And then the great part of our third step is we have team leaders that will actually close your sales, but you're responsible for 1 and 2. And then for 3, you're responsible to set up a 3-way call, which even to this day, I got people that just can't do a 3-way call technically, even when I tell them to call their provider and practice it, whatever. But you do a 3-way call and introduce your prospect to one of us guys, your sponsor or somebody, and then put your phone on mute and we answer their questions. And this 3-step process is important because the potential sale that you have has to feel like, if he signs up, that he can do this. So if you're showing him by example that we have a process, then he starts thinking, well, I don't really have to answer the questions. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do this. All I got to do is this. There's a chance then that guy's going to come in and pay the money to get started. But if he thinks it's very, very complicated, trust me, these prospects run for the hills, because this is a very quick fix society. And a lot of people think this is a get rich quick scheme. Oh, I'm going to make $2,000 or $3,500 a sale and live happily ever after. And then they come aboard and realize, no, not only do you have skin in the game, but you have to be proactive and learn the business. But when they see this 3-step system, if you do it correctly, they go, oh, I think I can do this. And there's your sale. Guys?
Yeah, that's the real key to this, I think, is that we want to get across to prospects that they can do this, because nothing will kill a sale more than, well, besides like they legitimately have no money, not much we can do about that. Assuming they do have some money, then nothing will kill a sale faster than the fact that they don't think that they can do it, and they essentially think that they would just be throwing their money out the window. And I mean, I don't blame them. If I thought I was going to just be throwing my money out the window, I wouldn't join either. So I mean, the key is to get them to understand that, you know, there's not a heck of a lot to it. You know, we never say the business is easy, but it's simple. And you know, just doing this. And just to clarify too, I know on our, you know, certainly on our webinar, we say team leaders close your sales. I mean, the way we're set up is 3-way calls with your sponsor. Is your sponsor is your team leader in 95% of the cases, based on how our comp plan is. But certainly other people are available if your sponsor's not, for whatever reason. Yeah, good stuff. Does anybody have any questions about anything that we've talked about, or anything else business related?
and step one is important, obviously. And all those resources, again, are on your training site. And if I was a new person, I'd review all of them and write down the questions you have. When I got started, I pretty much predominantly used Craigslist. And then once I learned that, I branched out to doing other things. But you
Yeah,
eventually,
you essentially, you only used Craigslist in the beginning.
in the beginning, for probably a couple years, it was
Yeah.
really working for me, really good. And I think Craigslist has its ups and downs. You have to be consistent. And once COVID hit, I think Craigslist got a little hammered because people were
Yep.
worried about their money and things like that. So I branch out into other things. I'm about to do a couple email solo ad campaigns, which is number 3 there. And I also got business cards or drop cards, which I occasionally use. And I've done postcard mailings a couple times. I haven't done YouTube marketing yet. And I haven't really done pay-per-click, but I know Steve has done pay-per-click. And
Yep, I've done both. My last sale was actually off of a YouTube video that, I mean, it was accidental. I didn't target it or anything like that. I just got found somehow.
I've also done a little bit of warm marketing when I got started. From my experience with a MLM, obviously I had a list of people. So I selectively contacted a few. I said, hey, Dave, I haven't seen you in a while. As you know, I'm no longer doing the blah, blah, blah marketing, but hey, I found something a lot better than standard network marketing, and it's way bigger commissions. If you're interested, let me know. And I got a couple people that said, hey, John, thanks for thinking of me, or thanks, John. But the idea of warm marketing, and we have a whole training on that, is those people are already pre-qualified. They're free. And if you know how to go to them, which is explained in our training, it's still a source of leads, especially if your promotional budget is slim pickings. I have a lot of people, well, I don't have any money, therefore I'm not promoting. Well, therefore you're going to fail. There's always a way to skin a cat. So, go to a few people in your warm market selectively and make a couple sales maybe, and then use some of that money to go back into your promotion and marketing. So it's good to study all these things and see which ones might work for you.
Yeah, I'm going to take off the SMS text marketing. We did a pretty good training on it, but it turns out it's kind of a gray area whether or not it's legal or not. So we're gonna take that down. Yeah, if you don't have a budget for advertising, then 2 of them that I recommend, actually, like John said, the warm market. It's uncomfortable for a lot of people, but if you do it, if you do it the right way, it's not so uncomfortable. Or making YouTube videos. Everybody who has a Gmail account has a YouTube channel, whether you know it or not. And, making videos and putting them up there is a way to get found. Like I got found on, it was a couple of weeks ago, actually. So, it's possible to do that for free. I mean, YouTube has paid advertising as well, but you can do free videos, upload them to your YouTube channel and drive traffic that way. And we have a really good, let me just click on this, because yikes, that's not good. Why that's coming up, but anywho. You get that message, our site is safe, even though we don't have that security certificate. Yeah, YouTube marketing. We have a good video here on using YouTube to generate free leads. So, if you're somebody that is, has a limited budget or no budget, I recommend it. Good stuff.
And you can use Zoom or Loom. Is it Loom? Yeah. To make videos.
Yeah. Yep. you can use, if you want to just talk into it, you can use your phone. If you want to show slides, or show your screen in any way, then either, Zoom or Loom will get the job done. All right, good deal. Any questions, comments?
Hey, let me just mention this, Steve, about the marketing system. They changed, our system administrators changed the way they evaluate logins and so forth to our system, and I'm still trying to get a handle on exactly what they're doing. One of the things they did was they significantly improved the amount of spam hits we were getting to our website, which is highly appreciated. But in doing that, sometimes when people try to log in, it doesn't happen often. It does happen too often, though, from my perspective and Steve's in particular. But if you happen to try to log in and you get your IP has been blocked, don't panic. Just let us know. We'll fix it. I'm trying to get a bottom line handle on exactly how to prevent that. But there's a good and a bad reason why we need to have them monitor our attempted logins and so forth to keep spam and keep stuff coming. We were getting, before they implemented this, we were just getting a ton of offshore hits, logins to our marketing system, and who knows what kind of issues that caused or could cause. So just be patient. If you get blocked, don't worry about it. If you run into a prospect, which shouldn't happen, but if you do run into a prospect that can't log in for some reason, let us know and we can take care of it really quick if you'll let us know. Okay, so just let us know.
Yeah, like I had a guy registering on Saturday, a new member who had paid me the Cash App sale, and he got his IP address blocked. So it's like, now I was able to explain because I kind of knew what was causing this, but the last thing that anybody wants is a new prospect or a new sale, particularly to encounter something like that. So yeah, hopefully and I'm sure we will pretty quickly, but get that resolved. And
yeah, there's a balance to how they deal with the monitoring of logins and so forth, evidently. And right now it's.
I will say this guy tried like multiple times to register. I'm not really sure what the issue was.
That could have been what.
That's probably what it was. Yeah.
Yep, that was probably what it was. And one thing that will absolutely ruin your day and block you if you're testing your capture pages, if you try to put using your normal computer at your home or wherever that you're logging into, if you try to use a fake email address, it will block you. Just count on it. So in fact, we were doing a training session a couple months ago, and John was demonstrating something, and he got blocked on the spot when he used a fake email address. So don't use fake email addresses testing. Use a real one, and there's a good reason to do that anyway, so that you can see the responses from the system to you. So,
but if you do multiple, and I'm actually asking this because I don't know the answer, but I test pretty often, even for newer members or just testing stuff myself for whatever reason. Can I use the same email address?
Yeah, you can use the same. You can.
Okay.
As long as it's a real one, because the new system, the way they do it, they've got a list, evidently. They've got some kind of algorithm. I'm not sure exactly how they do it, but they test whether the login email is actually valid. And if it's known to be not valid in particular, it'll block you. So anyway.
We got time to introduce a new rep that I see made it on the phone.
Sure.
I'd like to introduce Dove. Is there a way we can get her phone active? Dove, introduce you to the team.
Hi.
There you are. Maybe you could.
There you go. Hey.
Maybe you could say where you're from and why you're getting started and everything.
I am here in Chicago temporarily.
The city with no crime.
The city that's with the most crime. That's why I'm leaving. Yeah, and I wanted to get started because honestly, I've been looking at this opportunity for years, and I guess, now was the right time. I just felt like if I was going to do it, I needed to do it now. Um, I'm not confident about what I'm going to have when I retire. So I just feel, and I'm not confident in corporate America because I've already been laid off a couple jobs, and I'm right now, I'm on a little of a medical leave, but I do contract work. So of course, that can end at any time. So basically, I just needed to feel secure about my future. And I know it's going to take a while for this business to, build, but, I have nothing right now but time.
Well, great. Well,
Awesome.
welcome to the team. And that's a good thing for our training is you've been on my list probably for a while. I'm not sure.
5 years.
5 years? Wow. Well, that just,
Well, something like that.
That's almost a record. I had somebody on my list for 7 that finally
Yeah.
came on board, and I'm like,
So
I guess I don't have good closing techniques. So maybe John doesn't have good enough closing techniques.
well, I'm curious. I always like to do a survey when this happens. But this is an important part of the training is building your list. We call it your pipeline. So anytime somebody opts in, we interview them and get their questions answered. One of 3 things happens. They either come in 48 hours to take advantage of the bonuses, or they end up on the marketing list. And if they don't unsubscribe, they keep getting the emails, or we never hear from them again. And in your case, what was the reason? Was it lack of money? You didn't believe in the business? The timing wasn't right? What finally made you go pull the trigger? I'm curious.
Well, I mean, first, I'm be honest, in the beginning, I was looking for some type of opportunity, but be honest, is a bunch of things. In the beginning, it was fear of losing money that I didn't have.
Sure.
So, and it's just the truth, fear of starting something is like, all those stupid things in your mind, that, the angel on one shoulder, the devil on the other, saying, what if this doesn't work? Or what if you lose your money? Or what if, it's and then I wasn't really in a position at the time to lose anything. Cause it's basically, of course, it's a real business, this is. So I know it costs, you have to have capital, you have to have money, to make money. And what I had, that was all I had. So I guess I wasn't willing to give it up. And then I did end up getting laid off the sales position. So then I needed to, keep the money I had in my savings because I had to live off of it. But now with COVID, and then, just working contract, and then the contracts stopping, and then starting new contracts, I said, like I said, I've been looking at this for 5 years. I know it's a legitimate business. I know that I, can make money here. Now I feel differently. I'm not, I don't feel like I'm afraid of failure. I feel like I'm afraid not to do it, if you understand that. I'm afraid not to try something else. So that's what just made me go ahead and say, you know what, it's going to be now or never. And then I just decided to go ahead and, take that leap, because basically I knew I had to.
Yeah. So we call that necessity.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing a little bit of your background and story with the team, and welcome to the team. And let's get busy and make some money.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, definitely welcome, and thanks for stepping out. That's awesome. All right, guys, we're at the bottom of the hour, so I guess if you guys are off for the day, enjoy the rest of your long weekend, and we will reconvene next week.
All right, everybody, take
All
care.
right. Thank you.
Take care.
Take
Enjoy the rest of the week.